Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. Yeah, and tonight I'm going to look at the sequels, the trilogies, the series, pretty much all horror that I want to complete in 2025. Because I did actually say in my reading goals that I wanted to read more sequels. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay everyone, so credit for this video needs to go to Mark from the book thing. It's my Irish friend Mark, and yeah, he did an episode last night of series that he wants to complete this year, and most of them are fantasy, but there's some horror as well. And that's true to his channel. You need to check him out. That he does read a lot of horror, but he is definitely more eclectic than I am, but he's got a great channel, so check him out. And as I said on my, what do you call it, reading goals, things that I want to finish in 2025, I said sequels, because I read some brilliant books last year, even in 2023, and I haven't carried on with the series for some reason. So these are the series, the sequels, the books I want to carry on with. Let's go. Okay, first off, the obvious one. And this is kind of a buddy read, a read along that I'm doing on our Discord, Crits and I, and that is The Dark Tower. And this is my reread of The Dark Tower, and I've just finished The Gunslinger, and I'm absolutely dying to get to the drawing of the three. Now, I know that some people already on my Discord that have said they just want to continue reading. And I wish I could actually just discard all my plans for this month, but I can't, people, you know that. I'm going to lose subscribers, you know, kind of, yeah. But I was tempted, because this is my favorite series of all time, and I can't wait to continue. This book's a lot longer, but I'm going to go for it in March. So yeah, that is the drawing of the three. And I've said this before, the first book, The Gunslinger, you're kind of thrown into this kind of unique, unknown, post-apocalyptic desert world with this character. You don't know anything. There's sort of a sense of mystery, and some people don't enjoy the first book. But I promise you, it gets better. You're introduced to more characters, world building, and just, it's fabulous in book 2 and so on, and book 3. So yeah, just carry on reading and join us on the Discord. Okay, another series I'm continuing with, and this is more like a kind of historical mystery with sort of little hints of horror, but more, yeah, historical series, and that is Robert McCammon. And the first book I read was Speaks a Nightbird last month. It was beautiful, and I cannot wait to continue with The Queen of Bedlam this month. And this, of course, is on Nikhil's Discord, which is Shelf Esteem. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a long series, but I want to go along every single month and read these books. Because Robert McCammon is a genius, one of my favorite authors. Swan Song, I have to keep saying it, Boy's Life. And I have a feeling that I'm going to love some of these books as much. Because Matthew, what's his name? It's just such a... Matthew Corbett, sorry, is such an amazing character, so intuitive, and yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing with the series. Oh, and just by the way, I've got some exciting news. Yeah, Nikhil and I, a really good buddy, and we're going to have a nice live chat. We just got to confirm, might be the end of this week. We're going to talk about, maybe going to touch on Fairy Tale, but that was a long time ago. But we're going to definitely talk about Speak the Nightbird. And he's got some very interesting goals for his channel. Live chats for his channel. And yeah, it's very exciting. And check out his channel, people. It is wonderful. And he's approaching the 1K mark. Check it out and help him get over that milestone. So yeah. Okay, the next series I want to carry on reading, possibly complete this year, is called the Dead Rivers series. And this is by Jack Ketchum. First book was Off Season. Just delightful group of inbred violent cannibals. And I want to read the second book in the series, Offspring, which I've got on my Kindle, so I'm looking forward to that. And then apparently there's a third book, The Woman, and there's some kind of short story that ties them together. Not sure. But yeah, I really loved the first book, even though it is graphic and violent and disturbed me. That's okay, I can cope with it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to some more of those delightful cannibals in my future. Okay, next up we got Necroscope by Brian Lumley. Love his cover. Now people, this is a long running series and I cannot believe that I haven't read more from him, but this is the only book that I own. And yeah, it is it's a horror, but it reads almost like a kind of fantasy, adventure, horror, weird kind of thing, almost set in the time of the Cold War, where you got this character Harry who's a necroscope. He can talk to the dead. And on the other hand, you've got this character called Dracosony, and he's a necromancer, and he rips out the secrets of the dead. And just throw in there a centuries-old vampire who does come into the story. And yeah, it was thrilling, exciting, horrifying. Absolutely loved it. Went to weird places in the end, and I want to see what happens next. And the next book in the series is called Vampiri. Vampiri? Just look at it up there. And yeah, I think the vampire idea comes to the fore, and it becomes a lot more a part of the story. I don't know how far in the series I'm going to read, but the first one was brilliant. I can't believe that I haven't read the second one yet. So yeah, that's a Necroscope series. Yeah. Okay, next up we got James Herbert, The Rats. Now this is my preferred edition. I have another edition, but I like the rat on the cover. It kind of talks about what it's about, which is man-eating, horrifying, bloody, mutant rats. And I thoroughly enjoyed this on a reread. And the next two books in the series are The Lair and Dominion. It's book 3, I think. And I want to finish that trilogy. And I'm reading that with John and friends on his Discord, Disquiets and Dragons. And he's basically going through every James Herbert book. And I will visit the other ones from time to time. There are some books I want to reread or read for the first time. But yeah, this is going to be my priority to finish The Rats. And I know the second and the third one are supposed to be equally as gruesome, equally as nasty, just bloody horrifying, because the first one was very graphic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. Okay, the next one I'm absolutely super excited for, to the point where I want to read it next month. The first book I read was Gone to See the Riverman by Christopher Triana, the serial killer. I'm not going to give too many details. And this woman's obsession with the serial killer, and she goes on a quest to retrieve a key from a chest and deliver it to the riverman up this river. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you what happens after that, and I'm not going to tell you about the sequel. But the sequel is called Along the River of Flesh, and I own that on Kindle, and I'm dying to get to that. So yeah, I just hope it's as bloody, brutal, imaginative, beautifully written, and disturbing as the original. It's Gone to See the Riverman and Along the River of Flesh. Okay, the next one is an interesting one, and that is More Than a Vampire, a more than human novel by J.R. Correll. Now, J.R. Correll is also a booktuber. Go check out his channel. He's got mainly kind of fantasy content. He does a lot of interviews. He actually interviewed me in 2023, I believe. But go check out that. The lighting is absolutely atrocious. I think that's one of the first interviews I ever did. I had no idea what I was doing, and it's kind of I was in blackness. I was in the darkness. But anyway, this book was really thrilling. It reads more like a fantasy adventure, even though it's about vampires. It reads very quick, fast paced. I really enjoyed it. I actually gave it 5 stars. I loved it. But yeah, don't expect so much of horror. There's horror elements. There's just myths and magic and monsters and mythological creatures. And yeah, the world building is excellent. There's gods and demons, and I'm not sure about demons. But it left on a cliffhanger. So why did I not read the second book? I don't know, sorry. But I'm going to. Because the second book is called More Than a Gunslinger. Yeah, it carries on directly from the first. Now this book doesn't have many things on Goodreads, so go and support this author and check it out. Check out his channel. So yeah, that's second part to the More Than a Human series, I think it's called. That's More Than a Gunslinger. Yeah. Okay, next up, one of my favorite authors, and that's Joe Lansdale. And now there's a couple of series that I'd love to continue with. I just started with Hap and Leonard, and it was a lot of fun. Can't remember what the series is called, but I'm going with a drive-in. Just imagine thousands and thousands of people being trapped in the largest drive-in in the world in Texas, and it's covered under the dome. You see what I did there? Yeah, under the dome. And they can't get out, and the resources are dwindling. And yeah, the worst part of human nature erupts. It's black, darkly humorous, bloody violent, actually really vicious, but at the same time he makes it a lot of fun. And I can't tell you, it happens in it, you've got to read it. But then there's a Drive-In 2 which I've got on my Kindle, and the Drive-In 3, so I want to read the trilogy this year, because this is one of my favorites as well. Love that book, so good. So that's a Drive-In by Joe Lansdale. Okay, next up we got The Rising by Brian Keene. I know some people might say zombies are a little bit out of fashion, but this is such an original take on the zombie apocalypse tale. Completely unique. I know these zombies are fast moving, they're extremely intelligent, and it's something that's, I think I'm not going to go on, I don't want to get spoilers, but it is so original. And it's not just the zombies you have to watch out for, it's obviously the people living, and the animals and the birds as well, without giving anything else away. And just the way the story unfolds, it's just brilliant. And I've got the second part on Kindle, and it's called City of the Dead. So that's a top priority for me as well. Yeah, City of the Dead by Brian Keene. Okay, next up, and I couldn't find my copy, which is freaking irritating because I love this book. And it's a bit of a surprise, and that's Slugs by Sean Huston. Now, I didn't actually know that there was a sequel, and I enjoyed Slugs. A lot of people don't like it. I don't care. It's gory, it's messy, it leaves trails of goo and blood. It's just messy fun. Sort of a creature feature. Some of the set piece kills are just hilarious. And I'm interested to see what he does with the sequel, which is called Breeding Ground for More Slugs. Hopefully it's equally as gory and just as fun. This is low priority, but I still would like to get to that at some stage. So yeah, that's Breeding Ground by Sean Hudson. Oh, and my wife just mentioned, yeah, so maybe breeding ground means the mama slug gets pregnant. Something. It just sounds nasty, people, and it sounds like bloody good fun. And I think I read on Goodreads that some kind of fatal disease or drives people crazy or something. But really, the first book was fun. Just read it with an open mind. Not supposed to be taken too seriously, and it actually reads pretty well as a kind of horror thriller. So yeah, Slugs. Okay, and finally, this is an interesting one because I haven't actually started the series, but I really want to. But it's extreme, people, and if you think of extreme horror, you normally think of this author, I think, and that's Edward Lee. He wrote something called Big Head. I don't know if I want to go there, to be honest, But this is his City Infernal series, which takes place in hell. I think his sister commits suicide, another one goes after her, I don't know. But it's a very original vision of hell, and I really want to read it. So I think there's 3 or 4 books in the series. So I'm going to go for it. But I don't know when I feel strong enough for some Edward Lee. So yeah, that's City Infernal. Yeah, and finally, this is the last one, sorry people. I want to continue reading Michael Slade, Don't You Love His Cover? It's a Special X series. I've read this one, and I've read Ghoul. Yeah, and this one is about women, beautiful women that are found, murdered, without their heads. Pleasure. There you go. And yeah, a lot of these books are kind of complex, crime, mystery, thriller, stroke, horror, hybrids. And yeah, they're pretty complex. Consider attention to detail. And there are quite a few books in the series. I haven't read many, so I do want to continue the series. Michael Slade. Okay everyone, so that's my video for tonight. Yeah, those are mostly horror series, sequels, whatever, that I want to finish either this year or maybe early into next year. But yeah, I want to kind of prioritize some of them. Have you read any of them? What would you recommend I prioritize? What's better than other? Just let me know it down in the dark spaces below. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this comment, give me a like and subscribe. It really helps out the video and the channel. And yeah, take care of yourselves, keep those pages turning, and cheers.